Good evening, everybody. This is Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. It's Sunday, September 7th, 2025. This is a brief update on Hurricane Kiko that looks to be getting a bit more ragged in its circulation. As we discussed yesterday, is passing over some cooler waters, and some dry air is also getting entrained into the system. And you can see that here. This is the visible satellite sector. I'm going to turn on the enhancement, which is the sandwich product, where we can see infrared temperatures on top of the visible data, which gives us an idea as to where some of those enhanced thunderstorms are. And we can show you why we think it's weakening a little bit here. As of 11 o'clock this morning, Hawaii Standard Time, Kiko is a Category 2 hurricane with winds of 110 miles per hour. I suspect, based on this satellite imagery, that will change slightly in the upcoming 5 p.m. Hawaiian time update, which would be 11 p.m. On the East Coast. Now, let me turn on the enhancements for this satellite sector and show you what it looks like. So this is what's called the sandwich product. And anything that you see enhanced or high clouds, anything that you see here that is orange or yellow is likely thunderstorm activity. And here's some thunderstorms that are popping up around the eye wall here. But notice it's not as intense right in here. So this eye, while it looked at the beginning of this loop like you could actually see through it, is getting a little bit more overcast, a central dense overcast, and it's kind of filling in a little bit. That is because we're getting a little bit of shear into the storm, but also some dry air. See those areas that are popping in there? That is dry air that's moving in, and it will be circulated around Kiko, and it'll tend to dry it out just a little bit. Doesn't mean the storm's going to be dead when you wake up in the morning. No, it takes a long time for these kind of storms to spin down. But the good news is, and I'm going to widen out here and show you what it looks like in relation to the Hawaiian Islands. Here are the Hawaiian Islands right here, and here is Kiko. Now, one thing for sure is that Kiko has taken the turn and is moving in a direction this way that is going to keep it offshore. That is terrific news for all the residents in Hawaii, but do not let your guard down yet because this is going to generate a very large series of swells over a period of days through Wednesday into Thursday as the storm passes by to your east and then takes a little curve to the west up towards the northern part of the islands. It will not hit you. This looks like it's a high confidence level storm that it's going to stay offshore, but it will have some impacts, and I'm going to show you that here in just a moment. So as of 11 a.m. Hawaii time, Hurricane Kiko was weakening. The U.S. Air Force Reserve hurricane hunters found that Kiko was weakening, expected to pass north of the Hawaiian Islands on Tuesday and Wednesday. So this update again was at 11 a.m. Hawaii time. We have another update coming in just about an hour or so, hour and 5 minutes to 5 p.m. Hawaii time, which will be 11 p.m. Eastern time. And earlier on, it was located at 18.1 north, 145.5 west, and that was 635 miles east of Hilo, Hawaii. And moving to the west-northwest at 13 miles per hour. Minimum central pressure, 974 millibars. Movement, west-northwest there at 13. The 110 mile per hour winds makes it a Category 2 hurricane by 1 mile per hour. A Category 3 starts at 111. And the Air Force Hurricane Reconnaissance planes were flying through it. I'm going to show you some of that data. The mission is already over. The plane has come back and landed. And we have the data to show you. But first, I do want to show you that the clouds from Hurricane Kiko are not making it to Hawaii as of yet. You can see the clouds here. They're cutting off right about here. The trade winds are blowing from east to west. So there is some wind hitting the elevation, hitting the mountains, going up and creating a lot of clouds. So clouds and showers on the eastern end of the islands, particularly the Big Islands, some rain showers there. That is the kind of weather that I think you're going to experience most of this week, with the influence of Kiko really making itself known, and the moisture that it's carrying with it. Remember yesterday I talked about this total precipitable water, which is really nice because we can see how much moisture is in the atmosphere through the total column from the surface to the upper levels of the atmosphere. And it's very obvious where Kiko is here. There it is, spinning around. And even though the center is going to pass east of the islands, you can see all this moisture that is extending to the west. So during the day tomorrow, probably starting tomorrow evening into Tuesday and Wednesday, you're going to notice it getting very humid in Hawaii. The humidity levels are going to go up, and that means that you're going to feel it. And it also means that if it rains, it could rain quite hard in areas where the elevation plays a significant role. So where showers or convergence lines come together in Hawaii, it could result in very heavy, possibly some localized flash flooding. There are no coastal watches or warnings in effect. This is primarily going to be driven by this air mass. This is very humid weather headed for Hawaii. Even if when Kiko passes to the east of the island, the moisture extends far to the west of the center. Doesn't mean it's going to be a washout the entire week for all the Hawaiian Islands, but particularly in areas where those easterly winds hit the mountains and go up, it's going to create a lot of clouds and a lot of rain showers, some of which could be heavy. So forecast confidence is really the greatest that the island weather during Kiko's passage will transition to cloudier, more humid, under very benign winds and occasional showers. So the greatest rainfall will likely fall along more eastern and northern upslope or within higher terrain. So this is very moist air mass, as I said, moving across the islands as Kiko passes to the east and the north, combined with weaker steering flow over the island chain. So again, that could lead to periods of heavy rain along with small-scale breeze boundaries that normally might just produce some cumulus clouds. This time they might produce towering cumulus clouds and very heavy rain. Okay, now I'm going full screen here to show you a little bit closer in on what it looks like in Hawaii. And you can see those clouds right here. You can see my pen moving here on the Big Island. Really, the moisture hitting the mountains, going up and creating these clouds here. You can see the tops of the mountains really sticking up here. And that's all around Hawaii Volcanoes National Park and the mountains here. It's really evident. You can see the mountains sticking up over the lower clouds. Now, as we move further to the north here in Maui, you can see those clouds developing because the winds are hitting here and going up. So this is the kind of weather that you're going to experience, but I think even a little bit more cloudiness. You can see right on the far eastern edge of this particular satellite sector, these are the outlying clouds of Hurricane Kiko. Not reaching the island yet, but they will as time goes on during the day tomorrow. You'll see that in the webcams. As a matter of fact, I want to take a look at this webcam from the FAA that gives us a really good opportunity to see what's going on. Okay, this is a webcam network from the FAA, and it's very cool, actually. We're on the Big Island here, and we're going down here towards Kamoa, Hawaii, here on the south end of the town. These are where the cameras are located. And as I highlight a sector, you can see the camera in the lower left highlighting, and then as I shift it, it goes to each camera. Now I'm going to click on this sector here because that's out looking towards Hurricane Kiko. Okay, that's looking towards Hurricane Kiko, and I can click on this image here. We can see it a little bit larger, and you can see some of these clouds. These are low cumulus clouds that are developing because moisture is increasing across the island. But even on the far horizon, there's not a whole lot of cloudiness. You can sort of see maybe some high clouds there. There's some clouds over here. These are not directly associated with Kiko as of yet, but this particular sector will show us what it looks like as the hurricane approaches. So here we go. You can see these clouds that are forming. So this is where the camera is right here. We were looking down this way. If we look more towards the east, maybe we can see some of these clouds, but it's really far away. The camera only sees out to about this distance, so we won't see those clouds. I won't even go back to the camera to show you. But it does show you that the clouds are getting closer. Here is the latest satellite picture. Here is the forecast for the tropical storm wind probabilities. I'm going to turn that off for a second because I want to zoom in here and show you a couple of things. Number one, here is Kiko. This wind radii is a little bit behind. You can see the eye of the storm right here, a little bit behind, but you can see how far out the hurricane force winds extend, how far out the storm force winds extend, which are about 50 knots, and then tropical storm force winds here in the light blue, that's 39 to 73 miles per hour. You can see the direction that the storm is forecast to take, and with that wind radii being pretty compact, it looks like the islands will be safe from sustained tropical storm force winds. But there is a chance in some of these outer bands, tropical storm force winds could impact some of the eastern counties in the Big Island, Maui County, places like that, where you could see some brief wind gusts over 39 miles per hour. Now I'm going to shift this over here just a little bit because I want to show you that the hurricane has taken the turn. And what I plotted here is what's called the best track. This is all of the positions that the Hurricane Center has collected over the lifespan of Hurricane Kiko, along with the category of storm that it was in these updates here. We can click on each one and see what time it was taken and all that stuff. But this is a distinct turn here. You see this was moving more towards the west, and now it's moving towards the west-northwest, and then it's going to, even if it went straight now, it would miss the Hawaiian Islands. So you can breathe a sigh of relief. We have seen the turn in the storm, and it looks like it is going to remain offshore. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn off the satellite imagery because I want to talk about where the storm is going to be and how far the winds might extend. Okay, so I'll turn off the satellite data. And now we have the map, and you can see the forecast points here. The forecast 12 hours, which is going to be valid at 8 o'clock this evening, Hawaii Standard Time. A forecast of 100 mile per hour winds, so that's even lower. Remember, it was 110 miles per hour. The forecast is for 100 miles per hour. I suspect that at the 5 p.m. Hawaii update, because of that data that I showed you from the hurricane reconnaissance plane, that the winds will likely come down to about 105. I bet it'll be 105 miles per hour. That's just a guess here. And then down to 100 miles per hour a little bit later. And then the forecast for tomorrow at 8 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time is to have an 80 mile per hour hurricane and then to change to a tropical storm at 70 miles per hour at 8 p.m. during the day tomorrow. That's 8 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. And that means that the storm is encountering all of that cool water and also some wind shear. Now, I want to talk to you about the probability of tropical storm force winds. Let's turn on that data set so we can see it and I can explain it to you and what it means. Okay, so here we go. There's the center of the storm. It just updated here. The radius of maximum winds just updated. And it hasn't really changed a whole lot, but it is centered right over the storm here. And I'm going to zoom in. We still have these gliders out here. This is from the Integrated Ocean Observing System from the University of Hawaii, the Pacific region called PAC-IUS. And these gliders are out here sampling the ocean. And we can click on that and see when the last time they reported. It was yesterday. It'll report probably again tomorrow as it comes up and out of the water. These gliders can go quite deep in the ocean, and then once they come up and the antenna breaks the surface, they can beam the data back via satellite to University of Hawaii. They process the data, and then we can see it in GeoCollaborate. It's pretty cool. But you can see here, this is the probability of tropical storm force winds. It's a 5 to 10% probability that tropical storm force winds may be felt along the islands here. That is pretty low. It's not enough for the National Weather Service to issue a tropical storm watch or a tropical storm warning. The probability is pretty low. Here is about 10 to 20%, and notice that it's offshore of all of the islands here, maybe hitting a little bit of the eastern counties here on Maui, but it's very low. And the storm itself, as it moves to the east of the islands, the big story is going to be the wave generation. Very large swells are being felt, will be felt throughout the whole chain during the day tomorrow, and on the Big Island and also in Maui. Looks like those swells have arrived. Okay, what you're looking at now is a live video of Waikiki Beach. This is on Oahu. Waikiki is on the southwestern side of the island. But look at those rollers coming in. They're coming in at a pretty steady pace. And they're also awesome surfing waves. I'm sure a lot of surfers are out there. But remember, the hurricane is on the eastern edge and right now the southeastern edge of the Hawaiian Island chain. But these waves are likely have some origin to the hurricane. They are going to be picking up as the day goes on, more on the eastern edge of the island. So North Shore, on the Big Island, there's going to be some big breakers, probably anywhere from 10 to 15 foot waves there, and that's going to persist through the week. Again, there is a chance of showers and also very gusty winds coming if any of those feeder bands, those outer bands, do make it towards the land. And sometimes in that heavy rain, you can get those strong gusty winds. The rain drives down the winds that are just above, and that's where you can get some tropical storm force wind gusts. But a pretty day there with scattered showers around, but any day in Hawaii is a beautiful day for sure. Okay, now I just want to briefly talk about the wind, and I've taken us back to Sunday here at our current time, and I want to progress this from the GFS model to show you where the winds are going to be strongest from the storm. And you can see it already in the model data starting to fall apart. It's not really has a closed eye wall. It is very strong though, still a hurricane, but the maximum winds here forecast by this model to be on the northern side of the storm. But if I go into Monday night on the East Coast, Monday around 6 p.m., you can see the wind driving around and coming in from the northeast there along the east-facing beaches, and that's what's going to drive during high tides. Likely some beach erosion, and also again potential for some damage if you have any homes along the eastward facing beaches and they're vulnerable, like if you have king tides or you have a persistent strong easterly trade wind during the summer and the water comes up kind of high. It'll definitely do that when Kiko passes by. This is Monday going into Tuesday here, and you can see the storm. And it's really going to be sending a lot of winds and waves from the east and the northeast into the islands here. So we'll definitely see it in Maui. We'll see it in Molokai, see it up towards Oahu as well. So just be very diligent about swimming. Only swim where there are lifeguards because it could get quite dangerous with rip currents this entire week, actually. Okay, so that's it for this update. I just have a couple of final things that I'd like to pass on to you and hope that those of you watching in Hawaii understand that tropical storm force conditions are possible. It's a non-zero chance, right? I showed you on the probability of tropical storm force winds, it was a 5 to 10% chance across the far windward near shore waters of the Big Island and Maui County. So thus interests in Hawaii and the surrounding waters should closely monitor Kiko's progression towards the state these next couple of days. So a couple of key points here. Kiko is forecast to pass north of the Hawaiian Islands on Tuesday and Wednesday. While the risk of direct impacts on the islands appears to be decreasing, interest there should continue to monitor Kiko's progress and the latest forecast. Swells generated by Kiko are reaching the Big Island and Maui. These swells will gradually build and are forecast to peak along the east-facing exposures of the Hawaiian Islands late tomorrow through midweek, potentially producing life-threatening surf and rip currents. So listen for later advisories or possible warnings from the National Weather Service. They are the ones that issue the authoritative warnings and watches. Okay, so the Honolulu Forecast Office of the National Weather Service, which also houses the Central Pacific Hurricane Center, these folks are on it 24/7, 365. Interests in the Hawaiian Islands should monitor the progress of Kiko, and the hurricane force winds will stay offshore, but it will be generating those large waves. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your attention. I really appreciate the comments, all good comments and questions. We'll try to answer them in the YouTube chat. That's it for this update. I'm Dave Jones for Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. This has been for the All Hazards Consortium, the sensitive information sharing environment, where we share information across platforms. So state emergency operations centers and private sector organizations can all be on the same page and know when to share information when we have threatening weather conditions. We're thinking about you, Hawaii. Please use extreme caution if you're by the water. And also, you may expect localized flooding potentially when that real warm, humid air mass moves in during the day tomorrow through the rest of the week. Thanks so much for watching. Please watch out for yourself and watch out for your neighbors. They really do appreciate it. We'll be back here tomorrow. See you then.